Burnout doesn't always arrive all at once. Sometimes it builds quietly. You feel more tired than usual. You become more irritated. Your concentration gets worse. Work starts feeling overwhelming. And eventually exhaustion begins to feel normal. But burnout isn't simply having a busy week. When workplace stress continues for too long, it can affect your energy, motivation, concentration, attitude toward work, and ability to function effectively. So today, let's look at the warning signs you shouldn't ignore. 1. Constant exhaustion. The first warning sign is persistent exhaustion. Everyone gets tired after a demanding day. The concern is when you repeatedly feel drained and don't seem to recover properly. You may wake up already thinking, I don't have the energy for today. If that feeling keeps returning, pay attention to it. 2. Losing motivation. Another warning sign is a noticeable decline in motivation. Tasks that once felt manageable suddenly feel difficult. You procrastinate more. You struggle to start projects. You find yourself counting down until the workday ends. A temporary motivation dip is normal. A persistent change deserves attention. 3. Increased irritability. Burnout can affect your patience. Small problems may suddenly feel enormous. A simple question from a colleague might irritate you. A minor delay might trigger a reaction that seems stronger than the situation deserves. Ask yourself, has my patience changed recently? Sometimes irritability is a signal that you're carrying more stress than you realize. 4. Difficulty concentrating. Mental exhaustion can make familiar tasks surprisingly difficult. You may forget things, make more mistakes, lose your train of thought, struggle to make decisions, or take much longer to complete routine work. Don't automatically respond by working longer. If exhaustion is contributing to the problem, more hours may simply deepen the cycle. 5. Feeling detached from work. You may also notice yourself becoming emotionally distant from your work. You stop caring about outcomes. You become cynical. You think, what's the point? Or, I just need to get through the day. Some frustration is normal, but persistent negativity and detachment deserve attention. 6. Declining performance. Burnout can eventually affect your work. You might notice more mistakes, missed deadlines, lower productivity, less creativity, reduced attention to detail, and difficulty completing tasks that were previously routine. This can create a vicious cycle. Stress affects performance. Poor performance creates more pressure. More pressure creates more stress. Recognizing the cycle early gives you a chance to interrupt it. 7. Sleep problems. Work stress can follow you home. You may lie awake thinking about unfinished tasks. You may struggle to switch off. You may wake up thinking about work. Or you may sleep but still feel exhausted. If your sleep patterns are changing alongside other signs of prolonged stress, don't simply dismiss it. 8. Feeling overwhelmed by small tasks. When you're overloaded, even simple tasks can feel enormous. Checking email feels exhausting. A short meeting feels like another burden. A routine request feels like one more thing you can't possibly handle. You may find yourself thinking, I can't take one more thing. That is a useful signal to stop and examine what's happening. 9. Withdrawing from colleagues. You may also start pulling away from people. You participate less, avoid conversations, skip activities, or simply want everyone to leave you alone. Some alone time is perfectly healthy, but a noticeable change in how you interact with people can be another warning sign. 10. Physical stress symptoms. Stress doesn't only affect your thoughts and emotions. Some people experience physical symptoms such as headaches, muscle tension, stomach discomfort, changes in appetite, and persistent tiredness. These symptoms can have many causes, so don't automatically assume they're caused by work. If you're concerned about persistent or significant physical symptoms, consider speaking with an appropriate healthcare professional. So, what should you do? Recognizing warning signs is only the first step. The next question is, what can you actually do about them? 11. Examine your workload. Write down your major responsibilities. Then ask, which tasks are essential? Which priorities are competing? Which deadlines are realistic? What can be delegated? What can wait? Sometimes the problem isn't that you're failing to manage your time. The workload itself may be unsustainable. 12. Communicate with your manager. If possible, don't wait until you're completely overwhelmed. Instead of simply saying, "I'm stressed," try something more specific. "I'm currently managing several competing priorities, and I'm concerned that maintaining the current workload may affect the quality of the work. Could we review the priorities and determine what should come first?" Now you've identified the problem and created an opportunity to solve it. 13. Set reasonable boundaries. Depending on your role and workplace expectations, boundaries may include defining working hours, reducing unnecessary after-hours communication, taking proper breaks,
Protecting personal time.
clarifying response expectations, and pushing back on genuinely non-essential work. Boundaries aren't about refusing to contribute. They're about creating a sustainable way to contribute. 14. Take recovery seriously. A break isn't automatically wasted time. Step away from the screen. Move around. Eat properly. Spend time away from work. Allow yourself to actually disconnect when appropriate. Your brain isn't a machine that becomes more productive simply because you keep feeding it tasks. 15. Don't confuse burnout with personal failure. Feeling overwhelmed doesn't automatically mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're lazy. And it doesn't mean you're incapable. Sometimes the problem is an unsustainable workload, unclear expectations, insufficient resources, poor boundaries, or a difficult working environment. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" try asking, "What's happening around me, and what needs to change?" That's often a much more productive question. 16. Recognize when you need support. If stress or exhaustion becomes persistent, severe, or starts significantly affecting your daily functioning, you don't have to handle everything alone. Consider speaking with an appropriate healthcare or mental health professional. If your workplace offers an employee assistance program, occupational health service, or other support resources, learn what's available. Asking for support is not professional failure. It's a practical response to a difficult situation. 17. Look at the workplace itself. Sometimes personal coping strategies aren't enough. If your workplace consistently involves unrealistic workloads, chronic understaffing, harassment, bullying, discrimination, constantly changing expectations, or unreasonable pressure, the solution may require organizational change, stronger boundaries, formal escalation, or eventually a different working environment. You can't always solve a structural workplace problem by simply becoming better at coping. The Burnout Warning Sign Framework. Remember 4 steps. Notice. Pay attention to changes in your energy, mood, concentration, motivation, and relationship with work. Assess. Ask whether the changes are temporary or becoming persistent.
Act.
Review your workload, priorities, boundaries, recovery, and available support.
Escalate.
If the situation continues or becomes serious, seek appropriate professional or organizational support. Notice. Assess.
Act.
Escalate.
Quick self-check.
Ask yourself, am I constantly exhausted? Has my motivation changed? Am I more irritable than usual? Am I struggling to concentrate? Have I become increasingly cynical about work? Is my performance declining? Am I struggling to switch off after work? Do small tasks feel overwhelming? Am I withdrawing from colleagues? Am I recovering properly between working days? If several of these questions make you uncomfortable, don't ignore the pattern. You don't need to diagnose yourself. You simply need to recognize that something may need attention. Final thoughts. Burnout doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it begins with small changes. You're more tired, more irritated, less motivated, less focused, less interested, and slowly, work begins consuming more of your mental space. Those signs deserve attention. Review your workload. Communicate your priorities. Set appropriate boundaries. Make room for recovery. And seek support when you need it. Your career matters, but so does your ability to sustain it. Don't wait until exhaustion becomes your normal. Recognize the signs early. Take action early. Build a career that you can actually continue living with. If this video helped you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with another professional who could benefit from it. For more practical career strategies covering workplace communication, career security, professional development, and career growth, follow the Work Ready Hub.